People always ask about education policy. I would love to just be focused on education policy. That's the least of my worries these days. It's a lot at stake. And again, this audience understands this better than most, that the world is changing so fast, and our ability to create opportunity at scale with the speed at which we need to for the communities that are underserved and locked out, I'm not sure we're winning that race. In fact, I think we're probably not winning that race. And so again, for all the innovators here, for all the creators, it's what are we doing for our public school students who are now across the country majority minority?
Right.
What are we doing for our public school students who now the majority are getting free lunches every day because their families can't afford them? And if your innovation is helping just at the top end, then that's not leading our country where we need to go. So I always am optimist. I'm hopeful. I think there are folks in this room and folks in classrooms, amazing teachers, principals around the country who are solving this every single day. What I worry about most, I think, is our lack of national ambition here. And we don't, I always say this, no one has left or right, education can be totally bipartisan, nonpartisan, no one has monopoly on good ideas. But we should as a nation agree on some goals. So for me, there are a couple basic goals. I would love us to lead the world in access to high quality pre-K. We got high school graduation rates to 84%. That was improvement. That's a historic high, but obviously a hell of a long way to go. The goal of the current administration should be to get that to 90%. I would love to have 100% of that 90% college and career ready. And I think we should try and lead the world in college completion rates. Right now we're 12. And we could have lots of honest and vigorous debate about the best strategies to achieve those goals. But as a nation, we should lock in to those goals. But you don't hear anyone talking about those. And absent that, other nations that, again, left, right, liberal, conservative, doesn't matter, that have education ambition, that have education vision, that have an education dream for where they want to go, who see human capital as their greatest resource, not material wealth or not oil or not coal or not whatever, but the human capital. That for me is what's lacking. And so until we get there, I think we're going to continue to play what I call small ball and debate stuff that I don't want to say is irrelevant, but is just absolutely on the margins. It's like scoring political points around ideology. It's not about how do we get to 90% high school completion. How do we lead the world in college completion? And if those are the wrong goals, I'm happy to have that debate. Maybe someone has better goals, but I think those are pretty fair, honest places to start. And nothing of what I just said I think is Republican or Democratic.
So it's not lost on me that you went from macro federal policy to a very intimate, I think, one-on-one experience with these young men in Chicago. What do you prefer?
That's a deep question. Man, I think this is how I grew up, so this is very much going back to my roots of tutoring and being tutored in my mother's program. So this is where I am, strange as it sounds, most comfortable. But I totally miss the access and ability to move things on a national level. And I think those of us who care passionately about policy need to be proximate and need to be in community and need to be grounded in reality and rooted in community. But I want to be able to walk in both worlds, the rest of my life. And DC, obviously DC, you're playing macro, but I visited hundreds and hundreds of schools and was, 50 states and Native American reservations, things I had no clue about to stretch myself and move outside my comfort zone. So even when you're playing at that level, you got to play as much as you can in community, in the streets. And now that I'm in the streets, in the community, you got to find ways to try and influence, policy at a broader scale. So it's not either or. It's again, for me, it's always both and hopefully one makes you better at the other, makes you a little bit smarter.
So I think we're getting the cut it off, Jesse, because I could talk with you for a long time.
She's the boss. She's the boss.
So please, everyone, please join me in thanking Secretary Duncan. So Carrie asked me to read something here, which I have to find, about the bar activities. Oops. Where is it? Oh, Carrie's going to kill me.
I think it's something about we're satisfying Michael Moe's second passion karaoke night at the
Yes.
hotel after dinner.
Yes.
And there are prizes. There's bowling. It's karaoke and bowling. And there are robot prizes. So.
Here it is. It's GSV has reserved Daly's Pub at the Montage for karaoke, bowling. Yes, they have 4 lanes, and some great prizes from Wonder Workshop for ace bowlers and singers. Great. Thank you, guys.
Don't stop believing.
Oh, thanks. He's so great. Chicago, he's such a